Okay, let us pray. Loving God, we thank you that today we can come and study how to have effective communication. Help us to learn. We know that we need to learn a lot of new things. Give us the wisdom to understand and how to apply that for your kingdom, for your church. We thank you for everything. I lift up everyone before you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, now tonight we talk about how to detect authenticity in communication. Why it's important. When you communicate with another party, your member, leader, or anyone in public, one thing that they want to teach you to find out is what they say to you is sincerely or not, truth or not, because a lot of people lie to you and did not tell you all the truth. So how can you find out, or how can you know that that person not sincere to you, don't tell you all the truth? Well, some people say that you need to find out about all the background of the person, or you need to find out all the background of the story first before you talk with someone. Well, if you can do that, but a lot of time you cannot do that because you don't know the person or you don't know the situation. You just met them for the first time or even several times. You still don't know exactly what their intention. And for us, we assume that everyone's sincere, everyone tell you the truth, everyone want to work with you for the common good. That's the assumption. But in fact, it's not always the case. So in this chapter, we try to find out some way that you can observe or some way you can find out the party that you get involved with or talk with sincerely with you or not. And what they say is mostly fact or lie. Well, there might be a lot of ways to find out, but in general, you need to find out because you need to trust them and you need to make some kind of contract with them sometime long term. So here we talk about 3 benefits that you can get out of authenticity, mean that sincerely. When you deal with someone, everyone, if they deal with you sincerely, and what benefit come out? It means that when the person really sincere to you, it means that you and them feel you are one and you work for a same goal. You need to trust that person. And when you trust that person, you can work closely for a same goal. If you don't trust that person, now you cannot work with them. You cannot really do anything much with them because you don't trust them. So now this is the first requirement. The benefit of trust, of sincerity, mean that you can work with agreement for the same goal or reach the same goal. So this is the first benefit. You need someone that's sincere to you, someone that really tell you the truth. Authenticity, communicate, build trust. Now, this is the foundation. When you first know someone and you feel that you can trust that person, it's already have some foundation to build on more work for the future. It's not one-time meeting. It might continue for many months or many years of work together. So this is the benefit of finding someone that you can trust, someone that's sincere to you. The third benefit is it say dignifying, mean that it make you proud, make you feel good, and make both side or every side feel successful. So if you doubt a person, or if that person not sincere to you, you always have problem in your heart, you always doubt, and you're not happy with whatever project you do with that party or that person. So this is something not good. When you need to work with someone you don't trust or not sincere to you, or you don't feel comfortable work with, now a lot of problem. Why you continue? Sometimes you have no choice. You still have to continue and work with that person, but you can see that problem waiting and no success. It's not good at all. Now, how you deal with that situation when you need to deal or work with someone you cannot trust? And you're not happy. You should quit, or you should talk with that person sincerely. Well, you should try everything. If you have a choice not to work with that person, you might choose. But if you have no choice, you still have to work with that person. You need to speak out and find out why. What the problem that why we cannot work together? Why not we cannot be sincere or open up or really work for a common goal? So that's the option when you need to work with someone in some situation. The second section that we're going to talk about how to communicate authenticity. Now, everyone need to work hard in order to make it work. It not happen by itself, especially when you work with someone you don't know, someone that you start working for the first time. How you build your trust in them, and how can you make them trust you if both sides are strangers and you first met for the first time, but you know that you need to work with that person or that group? The first advice is be honest. Tell another side the truth, what you know, what you don't know, what you think and what you don't think. Be honest with that side. Show them that you really tell them the truth. And they can ask you questions, and you can tell them whatever they want to know. That's the first requirement. How to communicate successfully. You start with honesty. Secondly, listen. One of the big problems with a lot of communication is people just want to talk and don't want to listen. I believe that you in many situations that another side keep talking without stopping, and never give you a chance to talk. Why that side keep talking? Well, there are many reasons. First, that side might be not sincere, or that side might be not really trust you, or they're nervous. So you can look at the good side, maybe they're just nervous. So they keep talking to calm themselves down or to make them feel good. So you have to stop and listen to the point that they might calm down, or they trust you, or they feel comfortable and they stop talking. So listening is give another side some time to adjust. But if you are the person who keep talking, so what that mean? It means that you're nervous or you don't trust that side too. So both sides need to calm down and start listening to another side. That's the second requirement. Don't keep talking, but listen a lot more. Now, number 3, they advise you is empathize. mean that not emphasize. Empathize mean that try to understand other side and feel sorry for them. Empathize mean that you can feel what they feel. If they hurt, if they're nervous, if they try to do something. Empathize mean that you show that you care. You show that you really want to help them. And you really want to be their friend. That means empathize. So in all success communication, you cannot lack of empathize. Mean that you care for another side deeply. You care about how they feel. You care about what will happen to them. And this will help. You always want to be friends with someone who cares and who really want to work with you or help you. And you need to show out to another side that you care. It's not just care about the success of the project, but you care about the person, himself, herself, or themselves too. A lot of times you just care about the work, the success of the work, but you don't care about the person. And that is not good. So this is something that you need to think all the time. The person who take part sacrifice a lot. So you need to care for them. Show them that you care. Show them that you really want to help them and understand their situation. So this is important for your success. You empathize on them. Number 4, consider how you communicate. Now, a lot of time you don't know what you're talking or when you show up. So a lot of time you need to calm down and think about, should I say that? Should I react that way? Or should I do this certain thing? Or should I act in a certain way? So it affects your success. You speak too loud, too slow, too fast, too quiet, or you stand too far from them, too close to them. Because your body language is a lot. What you say might mean just 20-30%, but what you don't say can mean 70%, up to 70% or more. So your body language can speak a lot too. So when you communicate, it's not just your voice or what you say, but what you don't say also communicate too. So you have to be careful. Your action, your gesture, your hand, your leg, your voice, the speech, everything tell people about how you think, how you feel. And that can hurt what you try to work with another side. It can bring success or failure. And you might say that I say all the correct thing, I say all the good thing, but your action is not go with what you say. And people can feel that. When you say that I'm calm down, I'm happy, but your voice, you raise up your voice and you show out about your anger, your face change color. Now people can feel it. Number 5, they say prioritize teamwork. Mean that a lot of things cannot be done by yourself. You have to work as a team. And all the success comes from everyone sacrifice something. So emphasize about everyone. Everyone have part in it, and you care about everyone who get involved because success comes from them too. It's not your success. Even you, the head of the team, or even you are the small part of the team, your contribution is part of the success or failure. So we are the teamwork, not one alone. So care about everyone in your team. Give credit to everyone. So that the 5 advice when you work with another side. So care about your team, and consider what you communicate, empathize another side, listen, and be honest. This is the 5 advice when you try to communicate with someone first time or even after several times. It still works. All these things: honest, listen, empathize, how you communicate, teamwork. Okay, that's the 5 advice. I don't know how you think which one is more important for you, or which one that cause you problem or make you successful in the past. I believe that you come to this situation many times, and you have to deal with people all the time, and you can look back why you fail or why you success from that 5 perspective. Which one that you think caused your success, or which one you think caused your failure? You forget something, or something you overwork in these 5 areas. I believe that let me come to you a little bit on this section, because I want you to reflect on your own experience about these 5 advice. That which one that you overlook, or which one that caused you problem all the time. Honesty, don't listen, empathize, forget about you communicate, especially your non-verbal and your teamwork. Which one that caused your success or your failure most of the time in the past? Or you never think about them at all? Some people say that it depends on culture. But all these 5 advice go all every culture. It's just some culture emphasize on one point more than another point. But these 5 advice will work with every culture. You know that in many Asian cultures.
John, I think.
Yes, Kamsai.
Yeah, I think being honest is one of the big problem, because sometimes in the Asian community we don't speak what our heart think, and we think different way, and our mouth say different thing, and that is the problem, because we didn't tell the truth.
Yeah, in a lot of Asian situations, you need to lead the court, because they did not say what they think, or they did not say what it is. But
And even sometimes they listen very carefully. Some people, they don't say anything, but they not steal, but they use the idea. They take it slow. They secretly take the ideas and use it.
Yeah, some people don't give you credit. They just steal your project or your success.
Yeah, John Kamsa is right. Honesty is the one, but sometimes it's not. We found through to all the even the leaders, and all the members, that honesty is the number one thing that they say one thing, and then later on you found out it's another thing, and things like that. We have problem with dishonest.
Now, sometimes when we say dishonest, it might be too harsh.
Yeah.
It might be another way to say that we don't understand how they react, or because of the culture.
Yeah, and the other thing is also the body language.
Mhm.
The body language, the body language that we receive in response, and it totally tells like the body language can tell with 1,000 words.
Mm.
That's how we can read the people that honest or not.
Mm. So now we try to understand Asian culture. It means that they're not always not honest. Or they just try to be polite instead of say no to you upfront. A lot of Asian culture, they don't confront you, even they don't agree with you.
The body language confront, Ajahn. You can tell, they don't confront, but the body language is confront.
Well, if you live in America for too long, American people pretty out forward. If they don't agree with you, they speak out. But Asian, a lot won't speak out. But you need to read their body language or their gesture. They tell you that they don't agree with you. How you tell Asian people don't you, even they don't say a word.
Right, they just go quiet, Ajahn.
Yeah, a lot of time they go quiet completely. That can mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, son.
How's about some people that in front of you to talk something and then to turn around and have something different? That's kind of honest, right?
Yeah, that dishonest, but it depends on culture, because some culture they cannot confront you with disagreement. I think that each Asian culture a little bit different too. You know that when I start working with the Lao almost 40 years ago, I don't completely understand Lao culture. You see, when I visit a lot of people, I invite them to church. They say, they will, well, what they tell me. They say, I will go. But when I go to pick them up on Sunday, I never found them. So I think that at first, I think that they lied to me. But later on, I understand that they just try to be polite, because I invite them, they don't want to say no in front of me. They will say that, yes, they will go. But I don't understand that the way they say it. It just means that they try to be polite. But they don't mean they will come. So how you know that they really want to come? It takes me many years to know exactly when they say they will come, or they really will come, or they will show up or not. It takes me many years. Because not from what they say, but from the reaction.
Just like people walk by and maybe eating, and we always say, "Mama, kin khao," like come in, and then and for the Falang, yeah, they jump in, right? For the Asian people, they don't.
Yeah, the way the Asian try to be polite, you invite everyone, but everyone's supposed to say no or don't show up. But Americans just jump on the opportunity. So they're pretty forward that way. They don't understand Asian culture. So you should not say that Asians are not sincere, but that's the way they react. they tell you different way.
Yeah, I think just like Ajahn Kongsai said, the Asian culture, when somebody tell you to come eat, even you're really hungry, and you say, "No, I'm okay, I'm not hungry," because sometimes we don't want to tell the truth, but because we try to be polite for some reason.
So how many times in your culture that you need to keep insisting? How many times? And the people have to say no how many times before they say yes?
I think at least 3 times.
Yeah, in most Asian culture, you have to go back and forth at least 3 times.
Sometimes you even have to hold their hand and come sit down and eat.
Yeah,
Guide them.
they will wait and see that you keep asking them second time, third time, or fourth time or not. If you just invite them 1 time, 2 times and stop, they know that this is not. But if you keep begging at least 3 times and keep dragging them, so they know that this is serious. That in general, though, to look at the Bible, a lot of situation in Old Testament is completely Asian culture. And a lot of times you don't understand why. Americans don't understand why. For example, when Abraham go to buy a piece of land to bury Sarah, and the owner say, no, it means nothing, just take it. Or if American people would jump and take it for free. But that guy did not mean that. Abraham keep begging, how much you want? And that guy keeps telling, oh, just 200 silver coin, it means nothing, take it. He already tell how much he want, but he still try to be polite that just take it. Abraham keep pushing and take the money, put in his hand, and he take it. And a lot of my American friends don't understand why they have to do that, and that pity Asian culture. No doesn't mean no. And yes doesn't mean yes. It have to go through certain situation. So now when you communicate between different culture, you need to understand culture too. If not, you misunderstood the person. And you cannot be successful because you misunderstood the culture, or you don't understand the body language well enough. So nowadays, when we send missionary, the missionary need to take 3 years to learn not just the language, but the culture. If you don't learn the culture, it doesn't matter, you know the language, you still cannot be successful. It takes many years to learn the culture. So don't tell that people don't sincere, but sometimes it's just different way how they communicate with you. And because they try to be polite in different way. Okay, what's else that you encounter that you see that's the big problem that don't make you successful in your communication? Well, I think that another thing that we overlook is empathizing, mean that you show that you care for another side or everyone, how they hurt or how they suffer or what they have to sacrifice in order to make things happen. You really need to show that you care and you want to help make it happen. A lot of time people feel that they're going to suffer, they're going to hurt they're going to lose a lot of things in order to work with you. And they feel that you don't care. You just want what you want, and that's not going to make things easy. So how you show that you care and you want to help? I know a lot of Americans try to show that they care and say a lot about good things about things, but you can feel that sometimes even Americans not sincere. Why you feel that, or why you know that they're not sincere? Well, their body language tell you they're sincere or not. They really care or not. So what they say and what they act need to go hand in hand. It cannot go opposite way. What they say and what they action need to go hand in hand. Okay, that is. Let me go back to the note. Now, 10A to communicate authentically. And now this is more tool to help you when you communicate with another person, another group. This is the 10.8 or 10.2. Be aware. Be aware means that like you are always awake or know what's going on. The first thing is to know yourself. You know what you're doing. And you know what another side is. You know your weakness. You know your strength. Aware doesn't mean that you're awake. It means that you realize about yourself, what your situation is, and how other people come being formed. Mean that you know the fact, you know the fact, you know the truth. You know all as much as you can about yourself and other side. So to start with, you have all the background, you have all the knowledge. So that helps a lot. But when you come not aware or know nothing at all, you can assume a lot of wrong things, or you can make wrong decision, and you misunderstood other person because you don't aware of yourself, you don't aware of the situation, you don't aware of other side. Mean that you don't do your homework. In order to be aware, you need to do your homework. So what that means? Learn as much as you can about the situation, about another side and yourself, where you stand on, where you come from. When you know all the background very well, it means that you're aware what will happen and what already going on. So this is something you need to do to research or work on homework as much as you can, as much time that you have. Second advice or tool, they say that be passionate. Mean that when you go to talk about a certain thing or project, you need to show that you really care about the topic or the thing. Passionate means that it's not just come to do your job and you don't care. And people can feel that you just come to do your job and you don't care. And you don't interest it at all. You just go over it because you have to. And that's not going to bring you success. People can feel that you really care about it or passionate about the topic or not. The way you talk, the way you act, and the way you deal with them. It shows that you care and you really pay attention to the thing, how much. So passionate means that you give in 100% of interest of your time, of your ability on the topic, on the thing. You give all. That means passionate. Now, number 3, tool that you need to have it be present. So what that mean? A lot of project, a lot of things is it have past, they have present, they have future. And a lot of time you come to talk about the past. And sometimes you come to talk about the future. Well, it's possible, but you always have to stand in the present too. In the present mean that now, what's going on? The past we can forget sometime, or we can don't deal with it. And the future we should don't know. But now what's going on, we need to deal with. So a lot of time it's good to start with the present. What about now? We have to be friends first. We need to start to understand one another first. And from there, you can build on the future and correct the past. But if the present will not work, you don't talk about the future or the past. Now, be present means that you really care about another side, that person. Now, what's going on? How to be friends? How to work together first? This is the present that both sides or every side need to stand on. And if everyone feel comfortable about friendship, about present, you can build on for the future and you can go back to correct the past. But if you don't have anything to stand on the present, you cannot do anything. So this is something that we need to work on. 4, be responsible. It means that you need to pay attention to listen and ready to respond. And also be reasonable, responsible. Because sometimes when you start, it might not be so friendship or so friendly. But still you can work on by working, listening, and try to listen to another side and come to the point that we can work together. And after talking for a while, you will see all the point that why another side want to tell you and what you want to tell them. So you come to the point that we have some agreement on how we could deal with the situation in general on both sides. Number 5, advice or tool that you need to use it, be consistent. Sometimes it's not just one talk or one meeting. It might going on many times. And be consistent means that you don't change this time to another time. You change to a new person or a post or demanding or something. Be consistent means that whatever you start, you continue. If you keep changing your response or your reaction, people will feel that you are not stable and you are not responsible and you are not trustable. So you need to be consistent. Keep up what you say and keep your words and keep doing what you know that another side wants you to do. Number 6 is be watchful. When we say watchful, mean that don't just close your eye and listen and take a nap. It means that you always need to observe the surrounding, the body language, and what they say and what they act. All the time, the environment, and it's not just one person that speaks, the whole team. what they react. So you watchful and mindful all the time. What's going on? Be caring. Tool number 7, the advice that you always show that you care. Pay attention and respond and show your feeling that, oh, you suffer with them, you understand them, and you really want to be part of the solution. Number 8, clue number 8, it be genuine, mean that sincere. Don't fake. When you fake your feeling or fake your response, people can tell, people can feel. Like people pretending to laugh, and people know that this is not a real laugh. Or you pretend to cry, and people know this is not a real, this is a fake one. So be genuine, mean that real. Be clear. Don't go on something that you try to go around the point. Go straight to the point, and people can tell that you sincere. You really go to the point because you know what you're talking. But when people go around the point, you know that they try not to answer you, or they try to hide something from you. Even you don't do it, but because when you're not clear, you not go to straight to the point, people think that you're hiding something. Number 10, tool number 10 is be specific. Mean that go to the point is like number 9, but here is more clear. Number 9 be clear, but number 10 is to the point, the blue eye, to the heart, go straight. When you have many ways to walk to the point, some people take the long way or go around it, but you go straight to the target and clear and to the point. And people can feel that you really want to deal with the solution. You really care. So this is 10 tools that they advise you to use. Be specific, be clear, be caring, be genuine, watchful, responsible, consistent, present, aware, passionate. There's so many of them. And this is all the tools that when you try to make a successful communication, you need to apply them all the time, using them. And remind yourself and your team about all these tools. And I want you to think about which one that you think so important in your culture or in your work that you need to use all the time or most of the time. Be aware, passionate, present, responsible, consistent, watchful, caring, genuine, clear, specific. Which one that you need to use all the time in your work or in your team? In that 10 tool. Okay, one of the 10 or 2 of the 10 that you use all the time, and you think that is the most important thing, most important tool to use in your communication. I believe you need to use a few things all the time.
That is
And
a
yes, Timothy.
be responsible is it's important.
And you expect another person to be that way too?
Yeah, like when you work as a team, like when the people are responsible, that you can like trust. If the people is not responsible, then mean like you cannot trust it. Like you ask one time and if they're not responsible, then maybe the second time you will ask them. Or to work with those people that are not responsible.
Yeah, it's similar to commitment.
Yeah, it's similar.
When you have people who don't have commitment, and how you work with them. As a Christian, we always talk about commitment. But you see that a lot of people don't have commitment. Why people don't have commitment?
Maybe they don't have a heart to in serving. Like if they don't have a heart to serving, they might not have like commitment for that.
It's about everything in your life. You need to have commitment. Everything. When people don't have commitment for anything, they have a messy life. Everything in our life, we need to make commitment. But a lot of people don't have commitment for anything. And the question is why? You go to work, you find that some of your friends don't have commitment at all for the work they're doing. You go to school, you find a lot of students don't have commitment to learn. And you go to church, you find a lot of people at church don't have commitment to God or anything. And it comes to the question is why? Because they never make one, or they don't have one, or they don't know how to. Or they don't think it's important.
Yeah, for me, I think all of them, 10 of them is all important. Yeah.
Yeah, John, I think they don't care, and I think they don't care about it.
So you as a leader, your job, you need to change people who have no commitment. Well, some people say we cannot, only God can do that. Well, you're right. But you try to help them come to that point, to ask God to help them. But it's have to start somewhere. God will help, but they need to start the process. They need to want to have commitment of something. It's like you cannot help anyone if they don't want to get help. I always say that when we're sick, we need to accept that we're sick, and we need to go to the doctor and do whatever the doctor tells us to do. When we don't accept that we're sick, that's the big problem already. And a lot of men go to doctor because their wife drag them there. When they went there, they still don't obey the doctor. The doctor tell them to take this and don't do that. They don't obey. So that's always problem. So any other point that you think you feel that that too is important in your success?
I think be consistent and commitment. I think that's very important. In life, if we don't have responsibility, commitment,
Yeah, for me, then the ones be aware is also important, like as a leader. Because the way that you talk, the way that you greet people, so the people will watch you and they will look at you. How you respond to them and the attitude.
Yeah, beware is about you study the situation, you study the background, you know what's going on. So that helps so much to know in advance. A lot of people go to the situation without knowing anything. So that's not going to work.
I think, Achan, I think that the other thing is you yourself have to show them that you committed and that you set example. Right?
Yeah. So we live in a world that is not perfect. Even you try your best. But you just hope that another side try their best too. But it's not always the case.
I think that one of the best ways to communicate in the church, like be caring with love, and if we care them and if we show love, then they may be listening and then there will be like trust in us. I think that means to care each other and then to show our love in the church.
Yeah, we have to start somewhere. We cannot expect them to respond right away, or they're going to do the right thing all the time. But you as a leader, you need to start something somewhere. It's like what Jesus started. He died on the cross first, even we still sinner. He did not wait until we come to him. He already offered. So you at the church, as a leader, you need to offer, even the people not ready.
Yes, right here. God loves us first and then we love.
So you as a leader, you need to work hard and sacrifice a lot more. And a lot of time, people don't respond the right way. But you cannot give up. So you see, this 10-2 is for you as leader. You have to keep doing it all the time. Even the people don't respond the way you want, you still have to keep doing it. It's like what Paul said, that even we are not sincere, God always sincere. So in order to communicate successfully as a leader, as a pastor, you need to use a lot of tools and have hope. Even the people don't respond the right way, you still have to keep working and doing the best you can. Don't say that they don't respond, so I don't do it anymore. You cannot give up. And you cannot lower your standard by, okay, I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do it anymore. You still have to keep doing everything. The
I think
best you can. Yes.
I think that you need to change to that. Not stop doing that. You need to change the style, something, other things. Change to other things. I mean, that the thing that you ask people to do something, but if they don't do it, but if nobody do it, you have no choice.
Yeah, sometimes you need to adjust the thing that you offer or you do, because sometimes different way work better in different culture, different churches, and people respond differently too. I used to see people flock to some church that's so successful, try to copy everything that the church did, and they use everything in the church, but turn out it's not successful. And people complain that I copy everything from your church. Why I don't get the result? Well, your church is not that church. Your people are not their people. You can learn from them, but you cannot copy them. Or the famous church have a school for other leaders come to learn their technique. But if you try to copy them, you're going to fail. You need to find a way that works for your people, your culture. You know that 50 years ago, the Korean church was successful. All American pastors went to Korea to learn their technique and came back with home church, cell group, and they open, they copy, do everything. After 10 years, doesn't work. So they give up. Why it doesn't work in America?
Culture อาจารย์
Culture is a big thing. The thing that work in Korean culture doesn't work in American culture. So you need to find what work in American culture for the people here. But you can learn the success, but you cannot copy the success. When Rick Warren built his church to 30,000 people, he opened a school and thousands of pastors from all over the world go there to learn his technique. And everyone go home and copy his way. Very few successful. Most fail miserably. And they complain that why it doesn't work with us. Well, you have all the answer why. The one that make it work may be similar culture, or they adjust it to fit the culture. So it works. The one who buy the wholesale and copy the whole thing doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true. You know, sometimes like the thing that work in other churches doesn't mean that can work in our church. We can take the idea and then we can try, you know.
But it's always good though to try something new.
Yeah, try.
Yeah.
But do expect it like other people. The way that they got it, if you don't get it, like you're disappointed.
Yeah, and people love new things.
Mhm.
They always love new things. You ever heard what American old saying say that? If nothing broken, don't fix it. So what that mean to you?
Let me just keep going the way they go, never change.
Yeah, they say that if nothing broken, don't fix it. But a lot of people will remodel their house all the time, even nothing broken, because they get tired. They want something new. And a lot of people change new car not because it's broken, but it just want to change new model, that's all.
Yeah, maybe some,
อาจารย์ sorry
yeah, maybe some church they don't want to change, you know, like, that's why you don't really see the young people. Most of the time they have only the old people. I don't know, maybe they do have the young people or they have the young people because of the church and the things, so I don't know.
In America, it rarely have a church that have all age group because people have different needs. You go to the church that catering to young people, the whole church is young people. You need to do everything the young people love. You go to regular American church, it's the church for old people. That's the traditional way. They might have some young family with little kids, and that is the young family church. But you rarely go to the church that have everything. People just go to the church that offer what they want, what they need, the whole group. But we, the ethnic church, it's difficult for us because we don't big enough and we don't have enough people to do for the certain group of people. The only thing that combine and hold us together is the language and culture. That's all. But when the language gone, the culture gone, the church gone with them. So you see the new generation will lose the language first.
I think the church need to change the system as well. That they use in the church, something like that. Yeah, if they just focus for their, like most of the Asian church, like they focus only for their own language. But the new generation, that most of them they don't really understand. They don't understand fully their own language, and they come to the point that when they don't understand that they will choose, you know, they will choose the church that they go and that they understand the preaching and everything.
Yeah, you need to decide because most of the ethnic church just work for the first generation. If you want to work with second or third generation, you need to change a lot because the second, the third generation, they are American now. They might have some culture left, but the language, the thinking is American now. So they cannot fit in with the parent or grandparent generation church. But the Chinese and the Korean are very successful. Mean that they keep the second, third generation with them, but not in the same congregation. They have 2 or 3 separate congregations, share the same building with different worship. Mean that they have the young generation worship in English and the old one worship in their language and culture. So the culture is strong, so they can keep it that way. 2 worship service or 3 worship services with different language, different pastor, share the same building. But many other Asian culture, we have what they call soft culture. The kid will better leave the church and join other church. They don't try to have the second worship services or second church who share the same building because the culture is not strong enough to hold them. The Chinese, the children have no choice. They always have to be with their parent or grandparent generation. That's the culture. So it depends on your culture. Your culture is strong or soft. It can predict your future. Now you can share about your culture. You think your church will continue with the second, third generation?
Yeah, but the church that we run right now is like we go both the old generation and the new generation as well. And then like as I think, because to do that you need more worker, the people that who can help, because we use like 2 languages, so it's for the old people and at the same time for the new generation. So for both of them to understand and to enjoy, like even though the Christian worship at the same time, you know, like that, to adjust it. You know, most of the time, like the people, when the young people lead the song, they focus only the young people and the adult people. They don't know what to sing, and so many things. So I think if we want to keep to go together like that, you might need like more workers and adjust a lot of things. You cannot go only one side.
The Chinese, the Korean have 2 church in one building. Mean that the English worship is separate from the old worship. Mean that they have 2 separate team of pastor, leader, everything. It's like 2 churches in one church. It's not combined services. It's 2 separate.
It's separate.
Yeah. So combined, we work job for a short time, but it's not going to work for the long term.
Yeah.
So now, what your church going to do? You got to decide the future.
I don't know about the future, but for now we just go like this, just like all together. With the young and the old people. All together, I mean, like it's not like the Korean church, like we all together in the same worship. But we use the language like the English and the Korean. We have like preaching in English, and at the same time we have interpret or something like that.
Yeah, it will work for a while. To the point.
So that means we need to think about the future and then be ready for that, huh?
Yeah, time will come that if you want to keep the church, keep the young people, you need to separate worship service. If not, they will keep slipping away until you lose all.
John,
yeah.
We have 2 service, like English and the Mien, the old folk. But to me, for the soft culture, for Mien culture, I believe that is, still like, what combine better, like, the kid or the youngsters, still need to be with the parent. Because, first time we try to do that, we thought that the new generation, they don't want to hear about too boring about preaching the Mien language. and then we try to have that two languages, but it's still getting less and less for the new generation. It's dying and dying. So I don't know what to do now.
It depends. If the young generation church doesn't work, it means that the staff, the one who preach or lead them, maybe not so speak to them in what they want or know what they want to hear.
Ajahn, this is the point also, maybe. But what can we do? Can't do nothing. We are not the Americans. We cannot say, oh, maybe we change this and that. Yeah, something we can say that, but for the preacher or for the pastor, that's very hard.
Yeah, it's not just the language. They need someone who really, in their culture, speak the young language with their thinking. You cannot send an old guy who know how to speak English to preach for them. It's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work. Yeah, Ajahn, you're right. Yeah, this is the point. So for now, it's kind of a little bit challenging.
Yeah, a lot of old generation just think the language is a problem. So send someone who know how to speak English to preach for them. No, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
You need someone who young in their heart and know their culture, know their language to preach to them. For example, for me, you cannot send me to preach to young people. Even I know the language, I know what they're thinking. I still not young enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they need some young guy.
Yeah, sometimes even me, before that I work with the youth, and then because my generation, that generation is really different because I grew up in the camp, back in the camp, and then the style then the style here is different, That's why so many times I think, oh, they need a new leader because my generation and their generation, we already have a gap between that. So they might not like the style that I preach or something like that.
Yeah, beside language, beside culture, is the generation gap. So everything get involved. So why Chinese church have no problem? Because the first generation Chinese people keep coming. They're still coming. So the old generation church, the old people church will keep going because new people come. And their children will growing up and support the new church too. But now if you have to look at your culture, the first generation keep coming. If they don't, now you don't have supply. The old one will get dying off. And you don't have a new supply. So one day the church will die. So have to think well, if you want to keep at least the culture go on, you need to support the new generation church. Let them find their own pastor.
Yeah, to keep the young generation in the church, there's so many things that you gotta do. Like sometimes it's not only the preaching or anything, something like that. You have to look for what the young people need. And then, for example, our church, we know that our people they love the music, something like that. So that's why we have the program for the young people that to come and to learn the music. Love it. That's why they keep coming and they keep coming and they learn. At the same time, we also do have the generation gap between the young and the youth, because we come together and then the young people do whatever they can, and then at the same time the young adult they help out. We understand for the people that who can teach, they teach, and then who can cook, and then they can cook the people. So they come together.
Yeah, I cannot predict the future. All you need to work with God and see what God lead you. And all different culture, as I say, soft or hard or strong culture that can keep your church to how many generations or how many years. It depends if your children, grandchildren still stick with you, that means that they still have a good connection. But if your children keep moving away, get married, go to college, and keep moving away from you, it means that you have a soft culture. But if they keep coming back after college, get married, they keep moving back and stay with you, so you have pretty strong culture.
No more, John. Or when they graduate from high school, some is still sticking. Some, the rest are gone. And never see it come back. Yeah. To me, when I see back in the time, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, yes. But now everything is changed. People will change. Kids will change. Everything change. Especially for COVID. After COVID, huge change.
Yeah, everything changed.
Yeah, John, normally we have kids. We do have a big member. I can say that we have a 400 members. Some every year we do have a kid graduation, like at least 10, 15 students. But after that, and then getting less and less, I don't see them come back no more.
So where they go?
They go to school and then forever. They're not come back. They go for the college and then done. Not come back.
So they turn American way now.
Exactly, John. It is. Yes. Like before, they don't go out. They don't go to the dome. But I talk about 10, 15, 20 years ago. They still stick with the parents. Even though they go college. They still, hey, parent, can we stay with the guy? And then we have no money to go out. Oh, now they just want to move out fast. They want to move out after they say, oh, we graduate from high school and then we have to move on. Yeah, we don't see it.
So mean that they become American, completely American now.
Right.
Yeah, I know. So, at some point, my kid, before they're in high school and college, they'll follow you. Now they marry or them go American church. No, I asked them, why you don't come serve
that we try to understand you. We try to understand you, but when right now we know new generation, they have to speak English in they hard language, they go to English, are happy, they have to go to church, So now only old people, we can try to grab each other until last minute.
Did you have some, John Pun? If I make you happy and then I come back once a month, do you have some of kids say something like that or no?
No. No, the ones my daughter, she sing in the church before. Now she go to sing in the English church. American, I say good. You don't understand me, and go there. Take your kid. They learn about God. Don't try. If you follow me, you don't learn about God. Don't come. Which they're happy. They go there. They're happy. We see them every week.
Indian culture, sometimes they said, parent, if I make you happy, maybe we can come back once a month or twice a year. Satisfied?
Yeah, they come sometime,
That is not for me. For
Yeah, they
you.
come sometime very like we have Thanksgiving or Christmas. They come join, go here for the food. Yeah,
That's
they come.
why I said that's why
they
that
come.
is the number one.
They come only twice a year. So okay, twice a year can make you happy.
They don't want to tell you that we want to come join with Thanksgiving or Christmas or have a free food, right? We'll come back twice a year, and then would you satisfy?
Well, we need to rethink what is best for them and best for us.
What is the solution, Ajahn? The biggest one, so I want to learn a little bit so what we can improve.
A lot of things, I think that in order to survive, I think that because our people not coming anymore, we just have what we have and we dying off. I think that we need to learn how to work with different groups and join with them, whatever we can join with them from time to time, because we get smaller, but there's so many small groups that barely survive alone. We need to find a way to combine or work together.
Right.
You ever think it will work? In the past, we have too much ego. And we cannot work with other people. I don't know, American Thai this way, like the Methodists, they try to combine all churches that each one have about 10, 15, 20 people with another group or small. But for American, when you combine them, they don't travel to join another group. So for American, it doesn't work. But I don't know for Asian, it will work or not. Do you think it will work?
At least we have to try it.
And a lot of our children will go to join not fully American church, but a lot of them will join other Asian church, that the second, third generation Asian. So for them, our second, third generation, they don't speak our language anymore. They speak only English, and they have a need of new generation, but to the point that they still want Asian church or culture. So if they find the option with good church, good Asian church nearby, they will join. This is why the Chinese and the Korean got a lot of Asian from everywhere.
Yeah, as long as they keep going to the church though.
Yeah.
But some people, they just disappear. They don't go to church anymore.
Yeah. So unless your children marry to white Caucasian, that means that they're going to change to join the fully white American church. If they still marry with Asian, the chance that they will join one of the Asian church is very strong. Okay, let me go back to the note to cover a little more, and we can come back to discuss. Okay, now another section talking about speak authentically. And the advisors speak clearly and simply. Don't make it complicated. Make sure your voice matches what you want to say. So it means that your words and your action go hand in hand. Be aware of your posture, mean that you stand, you sit down, your hand movement, everything need to be organized in the same way. Make eye contact. Asian culture maybe is not really work with us, but in Western culture, when you talk with someone, you need to look at the eye. But a lot of Asian culture, we don't do that, especially from talk with older people. We don't do that, but we need to change in America, in Western culture. Take full deep breath, mean that you feel relaxed by doing that, and you feel more genuine when you speak that way. And keep your goal in mind, mean that you already know what you want, and you talk to the people why we come to this far. So you have your goal clear. Speak for yourself by using the word I. Well, instead of always say we, sometimes it's better say I, because people want to know what you think and what you expect. You don't talk about we because it's not you. In many American or Western culture, they want to hear I instead of we. Respect yourself and others, mean that whatever you do, whatever you say, you care about other people too. Be polite. Choose the right time and place to express your feeling and communicate your need. Sometimes it's not the right time to say a certain thing or to demand a certain thing. So you need to wait. It's not one-time meeting or one-time decision. It might take a few times. So you need to know that and wait for timing. Express yourself as clear as you can. And don't keep anything in because sometimes you say that, oh, I should not say all, I should not tell all, or I should not demand all now. But a lot of time it's better let them know, clear, to the point. Focus and really listen to other people when they speak. And this is a good advice. Pay attention, listen very well. Some people think that when you stop speaking, it means you're listening. A lot of time, no. Even you stop speaking, you don't listen. Listening is a skill that you need to practice and hear exactly what they say. Take responsibility for your own feeling. Mean that it's under your control. Don't let it get loose. Now, this is the positive that you get. It should be this way. Mean that when people respond to you or you talk with them and everything come out good, how it look like? Well, this is some example. Mean that even people don't understand or don't make decision, the way they talk, they still tell you exactly what they understand, they confuse, or what they feel. So this is some kind of a positive, they say positive way that people react to you. People don't understand everything, but at least they appreciate what you say and they try to work with you. So it's okay if they say I'm confused or I am not sure because they're sincere. Instead of pretending that they know everything or they understand everything. So a lot of time when people show doubt, doesn't mean that they don't care or they don't agree with you, but it just shows that they're sincere. And that's still a good sign. You don't expect people to understand everything or agree with everything, but at least they're sincere to you. They respond to you positively, and this is a good sign. And when people listen authentically, when they listen to you, pay attention to you, they don't interrupt you. They pay attention, and this is all the good side too. So you can observe that when you talk with or communicate with another side, if they pay attention, they respond, and they show you something, that's still a good sign. But if they don't care, they don't listen, they don't answer, they keep quiet, that's not a good sign. So you can see some good side or bad side on another side. And in order to understand them correctly, ask them some questions. If you doubt something, ask them. And make sure you understand them correctly too. A lot of time we guess and we guess wrong, or we misunderstood another side. So in American culture, they always tell you, if you doubt, ask them. If you're not sure, make sure. So you understand each other correctly. So this is something that the advisor how to do. And at the end of the chapter, I mentioned about some 12 tips to help you to have a meaningful or good conversation or communication. It starts with yourself. You need to be sincere to yourself, authentic to yourself first, that you're not going to pretending or lying and care about other person. And recognize that we are different. We're not going to agree with everything. So you need to accept that first. That don't expect everyone will agree with you. Don't make assumption. Mean that if you have doubt, ask question. Make sure you understand them correctly and they understand you correctly. Don't assume. Forget about expect it till you make it. What that mean? Mean that you pretending that you agree or you understand. No, they say don't pretend. Be sincere. If you doubt, you ask them. If you're not sure, you make sure. Create a safe space for communication. Mean that you and another side need to feel safe to disagree, to ask questions, to have doubt. If another side afraid to express the doubt or question, now we have problem because they fear or they're not so sure what to do. So we need to change that and state question clearly. Mean that go straight to the point. Don't go around it. That will help. Avoid cross-end question. Mean that a lot of time don't say yes or no question, but let them express their feeling. Instead of ask them, you agree with me? Yes or no. It's not a good way to ask. Just ask them that how you feel, how you think. So let them have more chance to say what they have question, they agree, they don't agree. Listen actively, mean that you pay attention, you ask question, you respond well. Number 10, they say use sandwich method. What that mean? It means that, for example, they say this way, Titus, I really value your contribution to the team. I noticed a slip in your work over the past few months. Let's discuss how we can work together to get you back to the working at a level I have seen in your before. What are your thoughts? So what that mean? It means that you don't blame them for the problem, but you try to be part of them and show them that maybe something happened and you understand the situation. You want to help them. So it means that you stick with them and you don't just try to blame them and put them on spot. So you see that this way that they use, they have problem, but you show them that you care and you want to work with them to solve the problem. Instead of blaming them that you caused all the problem, you are the problem. So this is the sandwich method. Mean that you stick with them, you are part of them, you're not going to dump them. So if you can make them feel that way, you can work a lot and can solve a lot of problems. Follow up at need, mean that not one time. Sometimes you need the second meeting, third meeting, or many more if you need. And choose the way you can talk or to meet wisely. Sometimes a place that you meet is not the right place. The time you choose is not the right time. And the way you use it not the right way. So plan ahead and think which one will work. And now about the person. Now we need a leader who is authentic. Mean that the leader who's sincere, who want to work with everyone and talk clearly from their heart and not blaming anyone for all the problems. You see, if you have this kind of leader, the whole team will follow. But if you have the leader who have problem, now it's difficult for the whole team. The leader who is authentic and can communicate well is, they say the first quality the leader need to have, they call audience-centric approach, mean that they care about the people. They care about the people, not themselves. They care about all the people. That's the first thing. Secondly, the leader need to be openness, mean that they listen to everyone. They don't close themselves up and think that they're only right, everyone wrong. No, but you open up, you listen to people. Third quality is warm, mean that you welcome people. You don't keep it cold, mean that everyone afraid of you. But no, people feel you are a friend and they can talk with you. Immediacy, what that mean? Mean that when people need them, this leader always available. Mean that they don't tell you next week or next month. If you need to talk now, they can make themselves available to talk with you now, because they know your need is important. They don't say that I'm busy, don't talk with me next month. No, the good leader won't say that. All people problem is important, and you need to make time for them. And a lot of time lies away, at least to start with. So this is some quality of leader that you're looking for: warm, immediacy, audience-centric, openness. Okay, this is the 4 quality that you need to develop in yourself too. You care about the people. You open yourself up. You warm, mean that you welcome people and you make time for them all the time. So this is the 4 quality. Now, do you think you have all or you don't have? Well, if we don't have, we can work on it. Nobody have all lies away. We have to work on it to have all these 4 quality. And some of us have to work hard on certain things. Some of you might very easy already have one, but some have to work hard to get other quality as a good communicator, good leader, to communicate with your people. Okay, we have a few more minutes. If you have questions or your comment. Because if not, I have to be done, because at 7:30 we have another group, another class. Okay, if not, I will give you a break. And 7:30 we come back for the second class. Okay, let's pray so we can start.
Okay.
Loving God, we thank you that we can come again to study your words. We pray for your wisdom. Help us to understand when we learn your words, and we can use it for our life and to help other people. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, tonight we talk about, let's see. John chapter 5. Now, John chapter 5, we start talk about there was a feast of the Jew, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now, as we already discussed in the past few weeks, that Jesus' headquarters is in Galilee, and he went to Jerusalem just 3 times a year for the festival, and this is one of them. And if you ask which festival that you have, that's the main thing. In fact, in Jesus' time, there's so many. It's almost every month. But the 3 main things that the Jews have to go by the law of Moses is the Passover, the Feast of the Tabernacle, and another one is you might compare to the New Year's of the Jew or the Day of Atonement. So it depends. In Jesus' time, there's so many festivals that the rabbi or the Jewish leader make it up. Why they want so many festivals? Well, because every festival, people will come from all over the place to Jerusalem. And the people of Jerusalem in normal day will not so many, but in festival time it might 10 times more people, and it make a lot of money for the priest and for the leader, because they sell stuff in the temple. When people come to the temple, the law Moses say that you cannot come to God empty-handed. It means that you need to sacrifice the animal. You need to offer money to the temple or to the priest. So whenever they come, they need to offer animal. They need to give money to the temple. And the Jew and the leader make it difficult for people to bring any animal themselves. Why? Because they always have the law to say your animal is not perfect. They have defect. So you need to buy one from them. And that's how they make money. And they recycle the animal too. Well, they sell it, you sacrifice to it. And normally the priest will just use a little bit of the animal to burn like the fat and keep almost the whole animal themselves. So they can recycle, they can resell it, and they can reuse it a lot of time, make more and more money. But the three main festivals that Jesus comes, you can guess. The Passover is one of the biggest one that Jesus comes every year. And now in Jerusalem, at the chief gate, there is a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethsaida, having 5 porches. There lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first, after the stirring of the water, was made well of whatever disease he had. This is the belief. And they have been believed this way for a long time. This is why so many sick people come and lay down on that pool waiting. It's like a lottery. You have to be awake all the time because you don't know when the angel will come and stir the water, and you have to jump in first and you will get well. I don't know, some people get well that way. This is why the new going out, or the sick people come and lay down, because this is the only hope. There is no medicine or no doctor in those days that can heal you all kind of sickness. It's just a miracle. And people really believe. And they get well because of their faith, their belief. Today, you go to a lot of research, medical research, and they try to find out why people get well. Medicine have something to do with sickness, but they find out that more than medicine is their faith. If they believe, they will get well even without medicine. But if they don't believe, even they get medicine, a lot of time they don't get well too, because their heart, their mind have a big thing to do, to say with their sickness too. So this is why today, if you go to the hospital, you get sick, and some people come to visit you, like I'm a pastor. I can go anytime and tell the doctor, the nurse that I'm the pastor. I come to pray for certain people. They will allow me at whatever time and wherever they are. Why? Because a lot of studies found out that when people get prayed by someone, the chance that they get better is a lot more. The power of prayer make people get well. Even they don't believe in miracle, they don't believe in God, but psychologically they found out that it works for people who are sick, and someone come to visit them and pray for them. They found out that these people get well sooner and better than the people without anyone come to visit them or pray for them. So this is the power of faith, power of belief. Even the scientists who don't believe in God, they still believe in the power of their mind that can heal themselves. So this is all the sick people who come and believe if they jump into the water, they get well. Even the angel don't come, they still get well, because the power of their mind, the power of their belief. But here we believe that God honored them because this is in the temple. And now here I mentioned here about the three big festivals that most of the Jews will come here: Passover, Pentecost, and Purim. And each one is have associated with Jewish history. The Passover starts in Moses' time, when the angel go out to kill the firstborn Egypt and pass over all the Jewish house. And this is why we call Passover. All the firstborn of the Jewish people were spared. And all the Jews need to have this festival to remember that every year the Jew will have the Passover. Remember God spared the firstborn son of Jewish people and animal. That start in Egypt in time of Moses. What the Pentecost? The Pentecost is 50 days after Passover. And most of the time it's associated with the harvest time. So this is like the fall festival for the Jew, and it's very close between the Passover and the Pentecost. It's just about 50 days apart. And people who come from far away normally don't go home because they have to come back. So they stay nearby in Jerusalem or nearby, so they can join two festivals. But a lot of people will go home and come back because it's 50 days apart. And the third one we call Purim. Purim start in time of Esther, Queen Esther. You remember that people planned to kill the Jew in Persia time, when the Jews are slave in Persia. But God made a girl to be the queen. We call her Esther. And God used Esther to save all the Jews, with Mordecai, her uncle, to save all the Jews. And because of the Jews have been saved in that situation, Purim come from the word that they use some kind of, like the dice. They used to put the fur to decide the day, like the belief on the certain magic. They select the day, what they decide to do. This is a good day, this is a bad day. So Purim come from that verse, that the Jewish enemy decide on the certain day to kill all the Jews by the power of the king. But God used Esther to save the Jew. And all the Jews in Persia Empire were saved. And this is, later on, they celebrate this time they call Purim. And the Jews from that day on until today still celebrate this day. So this is something new. In the past, they don't celebrate Purim because Purim happened in the time of around 500 years before Christ's time. But in Moses' time, this is not a different festival that the Jews come. Now we talk about the pool nearby in Jerusalem, near the temple. And they have 5 porches, mean that a lot of resting place that people can come and rest. Because people who come far away to worship God, they need to take turn. The priest cannot handle thousands of people in one time. So they take turn that they come to see the priest, ask the priest to pray for them, and offer the offering to God one at a time, or sometime in big festival, maybe 5 or 10 at a time, because they have 5 priests or 10 priests in service at a time. So it's still not enough, since thousands of people will come for that festival. So they take the whole day, whole night, or several days to do all the offering. So people have to wait nearby the temple area. So this is why in that time they build a lot of resting place around the temple area. And they have the pool here that the people, but it's occupied by a lot of sick people. And you might wonder that the regular people who stay at the temple are beggars, the poor people, the sick people. Why? Because the poor come to beg for money for the people who come to worship God, and the sick come to get healed. Hopefully they get healed. So two groups of regular people who stay in the temple almost all the time are the sick and the poor. But the rest will come just for a certain time of the year to pray, to offer offering to God, and that's it. And here we talk about some history of the pool and the place that people come to rest. And this is the time of crusade. This is mean that maybe 500 years or 1,000 years after Jesus' time, that it still remain there. It means that the people still keep using that. But you remember that in AD 70, when the Romans destroyed the temple in Jerusalem, they don't destroy all those pools and buildings. They just burn down the main building. But a lot of buildings that built after time of Solomon still stand, and people repair them and use them. So this is talking about the angel who come. We don't know exactly angel come or not because it's just the belief. And anything can happen, but the whole point is not the angel come or not come. It's about their faith. They believe that if they go down in the pool, they will get healed. And it happened all the time by their faith, and God honor that, and a lot of people get healed that way. So this is the hope that sick people have in God and come to the temple to pray and waiting. But now it's the whole you might call gambling, because they believe that only one person who go down first will get healed. If you go second or third, you won't get healed. That's what they believe. So when somebody jump in, everyone have to wait now, next time, because it's no use. Now you can guess, only the one who can move fast or have the very good spot near the water will go down first. Or the one who keep awake most of the time, before they see the movement, they go first. So it's a game that a lot of people who lay there for weeks, months, or years will never have a chance if you're too sick. How can you move down into the water before everyone? It's almost impossible. And the Bible says that a certain time of the year, and they believe that certain time here means that 3 times a year, because this is the festival time. So why it coincide with the 3 festivals? Well, we don't know, but the leader always tell people that when we have the feast time, the angel will come to visit the people. Now it confirmed to the people that you need to come at a certain time of the year to see miracle. And that will happen, not all year. So now your chance to get healed even less. It's not every day. It's just 3 times a year. So now you can guess that how many sick people will come and wait there, especially in time of festival. This is the only 3 times of the year that you have a chance to get well, and God will heal you. But if you go to the Bible, you will see that the miracle happened in different situations, like some were healed by a purified pot of stew from 1 Kings chapter 4. on Naaman, the leopard from Syria, got killed by dipping in Jordan River 7 times. And another one get healed, but in fact he dead. But they take his body to bury, but because of the thief come to rob the area, so the people who carry the body just throw this body into Elijah gravesite, and he spring up back from dead because they touched Elijah bone. So this is happened in 2 Kings 2. And there are many more situations that people get healed by miracle in different situations. And it happened sometimes the Bible clearly says that God have mercy on them, but sometimes it's just their faith. Or sometimes we don't know. God just make it happen for some reason that we don't know. But God can do all the unexpected things, and people really believe in that miracle. Now, John mentioned about a certain man. He had been sick for 38 years. And he come to lay down by the pool for a long time. We don't know for how long. And his family take him there. How many years, how many times, we don't know. But we just know that he has been sick for 38 years. It's a long time. And he hoped that God will heal him. 38 years is a long, long time. It's a lifetime for some people. And now Jesus come to the pool. And Jesus did not talk about other people. He goes straight to this man who have been sick 38 years. Maybe this man is the oldest, the longest suffering, the sickest one that Jesus select him. We don't know. But after sick for 38 years, he should be the very old man or very sick for a long time, suffer for many years. And God select him, and Jesus goes straight to him. Now, when Jesus walked there, he passed so many sick people, but he don't stop at anyone. He go to this man. And why? Well, God have mercy on him, that for sure. And why God select this man, we don't know. He have anything special, and why now? Have been wait for so long. But God have his own timing, and we don't know how, when, why. But God have a purpose for this man. And the question that Jesus asked this man is very strange for a lot of people. Jesus asked him, do you want to be made well? Well, if this man sick for 38 years, what kind of question is this? He have been laying here for so long. He want to get well. He want to get healed. And why Jesus asked the question? That is a good point. You know that some people who sick and don't want to get well. Why? Because you don't believe that some people make a living out of that sickness. Some people make that sickness as an excuse because of psychological problem or something. A lot of people, even today, make themselves sick for a purpose and don't want to get well. And you have heard so many cases that mom make their own children sick, so she get attention, she get money, she make a living out of the sickness of her own children. Intentionally make them sick. And that is the fact, that's the truth. And even in those days, some people want to be sick for different purpose and never want to get well for different reasons. And this is not a funny question when Jesus asked the man, do you want to get well? And you know that when Jesus asked this man, it's not just for this man, everyone around there hear it too. And he want to confirm that this man really want to get well, not because he forced them to get well. He have to confirm to Jesus that I am a sick man, I want to get well. That to prove that he really sick. And people who know him or saw him around there know that this man sick for so long. He lay there. And here, this man really want to get well. Even some of his friends who lay there don't want to get well. They make a living making money. And some sick people make more money than when they're well and work all day. And you heard the story that some baker make more money than people who work all day. Make a better living by begging for money. Almost like a joke, but it's a fact. I know some baker in Thailand who make a lot of money and have so many wives and even have enough money to rent to people. But his real job is begging. And why he's so successful? That's a secret that he tells the story that he make money by begging more than he worked all day, all the time. Now this sick man tells Jesus he want to get well. And he tried to get into the pool every time when he saw the water move, but too late. Somebody always go in front of him, before him. So he just hoped. And he said that I don't have any friend to help me to get into the water first. I tried for many years. I still have hope that God will heal me. Well, if he rich enough or he have a lot of family or friends, they might stay beside him to help him to the water before anyone. But it's sad, nobody. So he have hope and wait there. But Jesus confirmed to him what Jesus say here. Rise, take up your bed and walk. Jesus just command him. Now it's an interest way how he feel that he get well, and how when Jesus said that, rise, take up your bed and walk. It's just a simple command that he need to feel something happen in his leg or in his body that put him to jump up, and he even have the power, the strength to carry his own bed and walk for the first time in 38 years. So it's not just a simple feeling, it's the power of God that ran through him in his whole body, put him up, not by his own. You know that even regular people, if you lay down for so long, or your muscle is dead. Even regular people, if you don't walk for so many years, you cannot walk like the astronaut who go on the space station. After a few months, they cannot walk because the muscle don't work for so long. They need to rehab and come to learn how to walk again. And this man don't walk for 38 years. How he walk? Not by himself, but by the power of God. And this is a miracle. You know that when we get sick, we go to the hospital. The doctor can help us to stop the disease or don't get worse. But when God heals people, it's not just stop their sickness or their problem, but God give them new strength, new part, new body. This is This man who don't walk 38 years can jump up and walk and carry stuff because he got a new muscle, he got a new leg, a new body, a new strength, a miracle. This is how God healed, how Jesus healed. Like Naaman who have lepers, the leper eat his body, his finger, his muscle, everything. But when God healed him, all the muscle come back, all the skin come back, and everything come back as a baby skin. So this is how God healed. God replaced with a better part. God not just stop the sickness, but God replaced it with a better part, better organ that they don't have before. This is how God heal people. Get a better part, a better body, and can function even better. So this man can walk now. Even cannot walk. You know that today when people cannot walk and they go to have surgery, they need to have the program to learn how to walk again and take several months or even years to rebuild the muscle and learn how to walk. But this man, in that moment, instantly have the muscle and can jump up and walk and carry the bed. This is only from God. And now the bed that he carries is not just a simple sheet, but it's the whole wooden frame that it normally takes two people to carry, but he himself can carry it himself and walk and run. So all the muscle, all the strength come from God. And it's not just take year or month. It's in that instant, he felt a new strength from God land into his body. And he know that he can do it now. So this is a miracle how God make it. And here more example how God heal people and how God replace the body part with a new part and how God make them better when God heal them. And God can use always all kind of a way to help people who believe in him. But the problem here, the day that Jesus healed this man is Sabbath. And for the scholar, for the Jew, for the leader, Sabbath is the day of rest. You cannot work. And the Jew in Jesus' time were forbid to walk more than a mile. Cannot work, cannot cook. A lot of devoted Jews will sleep all day. Don't even cook. They eat whatever they left from yesterday. So they go extreme on Sabbath, mean that stop doing everything. But Jesus will explain later on, God makes Sabbath to help men, not make men for Sabbath. Mean that God just makes Sabbath for us to rest, to rejoice, and to worship God, not for us to be slave of Sabbath. But the Jewish leader in Jesus' time make people slave of Sabbath. They suffer on Sabbath day. They don't allow healing, they don't allow helping, they don't allow doing any good thing. So people become the slave of Sabbath, but that's not God's intention. Okay, I will stop here a little bit, come for your question before we come back for verse 10. Because it's going to have a big argument between Jesus and the Jewish leader there. Okay, so far you have any comment or question about the healing of the sick man and the Sabbath? The two main things.
Yeah, my comment is the religious people they engage in religious activities, and basically they use the Sabbath. Is actually the Sabbath is God's rest for His people, but they use it. They create a human restriction on the mercy of God. So basically people use religion, a lot of religion activities, but they're missing out the whole point. I mean, they're missing the mercy. They're missing the. I mean, the Jesus said that if your ox fall into a ditch on Sabbath, would you go and rescue them? Of course, right? An ox is their money. So they do that, but yet when a human need kindness and they condemn Jesus. So it is when kingdom collides with religion, and there's a conflict always there. And there's always is the so Jesus condemned their religious activities, and it's without power, right? It's some form of godliness, but lacking power, and the scripture say that. So the application for us is this: a lot of church people, they go to church years after year, they even serve, but yet there's no transformation. I mean, a sick man laid there outside the church for so many years, but the church people could not help them. The church people go in and out, give him some money, sustain him, and nobody can really heal him. But Jesus came, healed him, and what happened? The church people condemned the kindness of Jesus, the mercy. And that's what religion is. Very dangerous, brothers. Be very careful. Religion is very dangerous.
Yes.
A lot of-
Leader always use religion as a tool to control people, not to help people.
A lot of time it's not religious, it's a law. They turn the religious into a law. Law is power. Power is control.
And you see that Jesus said that a lot of law is man-made. It's not from God.
That's right.
Because of the law is power, they created from just resting to the point that they could not function anything. It become a law, become violating the will of the law, and put everybody subject to the law. That means they have a power over everybody.
And you see the point that when they have more law, when people break it, they need to come to pay money.
Right, more income.
More income for them.
Okay, I want to ask this. I know that Christian, technically, we don't do the Sabbath because Sabbath is fall onto Saturday. Is it true that we don't do Sabbath on Saturday anymore because Jesus already fulfilled that Sabbath on the cross? So we don't have to do that labor of practice the Sabbath anymore because Jesus already done it, but we do it in spiritually.
Well, there are many explanations. Sabbath, when God gave to Moses, it mainly for people to rest because people work hard the whole week. And God wants them to have some rest. And not just people, animal too. God demands at least 24-hour rest for people and for the animal. And people use that time to worship God. And real Sabbath start on Friday evening when the sun go down. Friday like today, Sabbath only start Friday evening until Saturday evening, 24 hours. Sundown on Friday until sundown on Saturday. This is the real Sabbath. And God wants people to rest. But people use that time to worship God, to learn about how to obey God from the early on. But the early church, the Christian church, worship every day, not just Sabbath. They meet every day, they worship God, they learn the Bible, they get together every day after work.
So you're saying that any day can be a Sabbath day? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, for Christian from the early church, any day can be Sabbath, the day that we worship God and we rest. So you need at least 1 day a week to do that. Why? Because every part of the world don't have the same time. You see that Sabbath start different time in the world. And even in America, different states have different time frame too. So like in Thailand, Sabbath start since yesterday. Because for like in the East, it's already Saturday for them. And for us, we still Friday.
That have only to do with the earth is a ball, like it's not falling on every other day, it's just delay 24 hours.
So God is very flexible on that. You cannot force everyone to have the same time, the same day. So it's just what we do on Sabbath that's more important. Jesus said that besides worshiping God is to do good deeds, to do good things, to help people.
Want to ask about the pool. Let's say the pool, the one that it have to be the at first. Who is have to be can be at first is the one that who can help themselves and strong. So other word is that it doesn't sound like God action here, because God would not be discriminate against the sick, the very sick, because God know that they cannot help themselves to be there first. Only the very strong one that doesn't really need heal because they're already stronger than the rest who can get to the pool first.
Well, the story go on that maybe the leadership make it up so they can get more people to come to the temple all the time.
Is this water pool is like the old promise, like a something naturally bubbling up from the earth, like in a Yellowstone or something like that, and then just make a story over that maybe.
You need to know that Jerusalem is on the hill, and all the water need to take it from somewhere. There is no natural well or spring water in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is sit on the hill.
Oh. Well, I know that's on the hill, but even the waterfall, it came from the hill, not from the bottom. So
Right.
somehow the water managed to get up there on the mountain before it actually can come down.
But Jerusalem is not the mountain, it's just hill. It's just a highland allowed there. And you see, the waterfall come from snow or from the rain from very high mountain. But mountain of Jerusalem is not that high. And the rain is not a lot in Palestine.
Okay, Ajahn, thinking how this bubbling happened. Is it a natural made, man-made, or God-made? Well, natural made is the
Most
God-made.
of the pool in Jerusalem built by man. And they channel some water from somewhere or fill it up. So the water itself is not natural, it's man-made pool. And in many situations in Jerusalem, they build a lot of this kind of pool to preserve water, to use. So they make this thing all over Jerusalem from the past to correct rainwater and to channel water from somewhere, mostly from Jordan River, to use in the future. So buffering, we don't know. It's possible maybe some part that they build the pool have some gas from the land that bubble up, or we don't know. Naturally, it's possible the gas from some crack in the earth under the pool can bubble from time to time.
I think the point here is this: because of this man's condition, he couldn't get into the pool, so his condition is really hopeless. And
Exactly.
and that might be also why Jesus picked him, because he cannot get into the pool by himself, and so he had no chance, right? So hopeless.
Well, the problem is if we come to that theory, there's more than one person that is helpless. So Jesus chose him. There's other people that's helpless too surrounding those situations. I read about this some time ago, and I think that did I say that right here? That in the future, after he is healed, and then because he have a younger brother, which is left him long ago when he was very young, and his younger brother was being trained to be a assassinator, or some kind of military training to fight against Rome, and his brother said the only Messiah that can heal him, and then he will believe. So Jesus healed him so he can go be witness to his younger brother, and younger brother eventually become one of the 12 disciples.
This story is not in the Bible, Ling.
No? Okay.
No. You might watch some of Hollywood version. We don't know much about this man. And there are a lot of story that going on about each one that Jesus healed. I don't mean that they saw lie, because the Jew make a lot of story. And the early church also make a lot of story too. But it's just not in the Bible.
Oh, okay. So it cannot be proved whether true or not.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay.
But as I say that what you say, there's a lot of story that not in the Bible, that some churches accept, like the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, accept a lot of story. But the point is, Jesus did not heal everyone. And it's not the first time. Every time he go to Jerusalem, hundreds or thousands of sick people everywhere, but he selected a few. And he said that I did not come to heal the sickness of bodily sickness. I come to save the soul. That's my job. Because all the body sickness, when they get well, they get sick again, die again. But spirit, when it's saved forever.
Yes, otherwise people follow him for the wrong reason. They want him to give them food. They want him to heal them. That's why they want to be close to him. But then Jesus wants us to go after his heart, not what he can give, right? You go and like he is a Santa Claus. And he is not a Santa Claus. We go and get blessing. But there's a lot of things that Jesus wants us to do, and we don't want to do. We go to church and get blessings.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Yes, Ajahn. Yeah, what I heard Ajahn said, dead people, the someone that throw the dead people to the Elijah's bone, and then that dead person's resurrection. Is this is it the Elijah's taken by the God
No, not
directly to the
Elijah.
heaven?
Elisha, the student of Elijah.
Oh, I got it. That's why I said Elijah or Elisha. Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Welcome.
อาจารย์ I think the reason they Jesus healed the man that been sick for 38 years, and I think that if we keep coming for 38 years, I think he has a level of commitment to be healed, and I think commitment is very important, just like we talked earlier class.
Yeah, you see, Jesus will select a few person that the Bible says Jesus have mercy on them. The one who very sick or the one who suffer the most have been select all the time. I think they suffer a lot and they have hope in God. They wait for God for so long. And it's a good witness too, because most people know him because they have been there for so long. And people will ask that this is the man who have been sick by the pool for so long. Now he walks. Okay, let me go back to continue.
Strength.
Oh, not this one, sorry. Let's see. Oh, here. Okay, verse 10. The Jew, when they talk about the Jew in the Bible, it always mean leadership. The leader, most of them are the Pharisees, say this is Sabbath. It's unlawful for you to carry your bed. And now they get mad at this guy that you broke the law. And you're not supposed to carry a bed is a work, and walk is also against the law. So they make all detail about how many steps you can walk, what you can carry on that day. And it's beyond what God commanded Moses. And as we already discussed that the leader want more law, more regulation. So people will break it and have to pay the fine for them in the temple. And this is how they make money. And when they say the Jew, it doesn't mean the regular Jewish people. It always means that the leader, the Pharisee, the priest, the Levite. And they always claim that God said this, God said that, but in fact, they make their own. God just gave Moses some advice about rest on Sabbath. But they lie or they tell themselves and make it more and more difficult. For example, God gave Moses a few laws, but in Jesus' time, the Pharisee gave people more than 3,000 laws. More than 3,000 laws. How they make those? God did not give Moses that many, but the Levite, the Pharisee, the priest make them up. And now they try to fight because the sick man said that, oh, someone heal me and tell me to carry my bed back home. So they try to find out who is that man. Well, in fact, they already guessed that it's Jesus. And they try to find Jesus and try to accuse Jesus that beside breaking the law, Jesus healing someone is already broke the law. And tell this man to carry his bed is also advise someone to break the law too. So double mistake, double law breaking that Jesus did on the same day. But for the sick man, how he feel? Now they cannot find Jesus because thousands and thousands of people come to Jerusalem for that occasion. And you know how people in those days dress. They have all the rope to cover their head, and where they walk, and you cannot tell the difference who is that guy, who is that guy, because the way they dress. But they try to find where is Jesus. So the day passed by, Jesus met the guy again in the temple, because Jesus come to the temple to pray, and this is a special occasion. A lot of people will stay in the temple all day. Besides to give offering, they also try to meet one another, and they will see a lot of people that they did not see for a long time, because every Jew, every man will come to the temple. So if you never see your friend for a long time, or did not see your cousin for a long time, this is the best place to meet them, because the chance that you will meet them is so high, because every man possible will come to the temple in the festival time. So this is the place. You just wait there, and then someone that you did not see for a long time will pop up. So this is the whole day thing. And sometimes it takes 7-day festival, mean that it will go on for 7 days. And Jesus met him and tell him, now this is a good question to say, sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you. So people take Jesus saying here, say that, oh, his sickness come from his sin. Well, it's right and wrong. Right, what that mean? All sickness, all problem that we have come from sin, that's correct. But sometimes, some situation not directly from his sin. You remember later on, a boy that have been sick, and they bring to Jesus, and the apostle asked Jesus, who sinned? Because the boy still so young. So they asked, the parents sin or the boy sin that caused him sickness? And Jesus said, none. Not the parents sin, not the boy sin, but it happened to glorify God. So that is another reason. In the old day, they always claim that the sickness come from parent sin, or you call original sin, or personal sin. But Jesus said that some situation, God just allow it to happen to glorify God. So that the third reason that sometimes people get problem or get sickness. And when you see people have sickness or problem, don't always blame them that it's your sin. Sometimes it's the original sin that caused the problem. Or sometimes it's just some situation that God allowed it to happen. And a lot of times people ask Job, what sin you did? Job will say no. God just allowed it to happen. So Jesus remind the man that God make you well now, and the man is better than before he gets sick. So this is how God heal us. He make us better than before we get sick. So this is the better way. When before you get sick, you might have a regular body, but when God heals you, He gives you a new, better body, a better part that replaces your old one that's not so good. Now the man knows who Jesus is, so he come to tell the Jew, this man is Jesus. Well, it's not because he want to accuse Jesus, but he's so exciting. And he want to tell everyone about Jesus, that Jesus have the power from God, can heal him and can help everyone. So he doesn't mean bad for Jesus. He's just so excited and want to share to everyone about the good news. But for the Jewish leader, this is the accusation. They want to get Jesus. Now the Bible says that the Jew, the leader, hate Jesus even more and have the reason they try to get rid of Jesus, because Jesus come between their income and their power. It's personal now, because Jesus challenged their authority, their power, their income, their teaching. It's everything. Jesus is against them now. And beside that, they're accusing Jesus that Jesus compare himself to God, because they heard Jesus say that I am the Son of God and God is my Father. So the Jews have a reason to accuse Jesus. And more than that, the Bible says that they plan to kill Jesus. Now you see the plan already start. And they will find all the way to kill Jesus now. And we can come back to entertain that. What is the main reason? Some people say that because Jesus teach different from them. Well, that's one reason. But one of the biggest reasons that you will see more in the future is conflict of interest about their power and their money that they try to protect. And here, this is a good reason to kill Jesus. But Jesus said that my Father have been working. This is the reason Jesus said that why he never stopped healing people, never stopped helping people or do good things, because God never stopped helping man. So people misunderstood of Sabbath. They say that God stopped doing everything on Sabbath. So God made the world in 6 days. And on the 7th day, the Jewish leader teach that God stopped everything. But Jesus said no. God just rest, and then he worked again. And God never stopped working. He just rest. And this is the whole point of Sabbath. We rest, and then we work again. Do good thing again. And this is the same way that God wants us. The whole life, we never stop. We just rest, and then we work again. We do more thing, good thing again. This is the intention of God. And the Bible from Psalm 121 says God don't need to rest or sleep, but he just set a good example for us to rest. God never get tired, but man will get tired. That's why God allows us to rest, to refresh again. Now, on verse 19 and 20, Jesus will remind them that I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do. For whatever he does, the Son also does in like manner. This is to confirm that God, the Father, the Son are the same, and know one another, and do the same work at one person. This is to confirm that Jesus is God and part of the Father. Father, Son, later on, he will confirm the Holy Spirit are one, 3 in 1, and do the same work together at one. So this is the confirmation that we try to look for, that Jesus did not do anything alone, but as the Trinity does. So you say that the Son can do nothing of himself, to explain that Father, Son are one and do everything together at one all the time. Yet in detail more, the Son and the Father do the same thing in the same manner. And the Father will not do anything without the Son, and the Son will not do anything without the Father. And here try to explain the Trinity, that our God is 3 in 1. And here Jesus said that the Father raised the dead and give life to them. Even so the Son give life to whom he will. For the Father judged no one, but commit all judgment to the Son, and all should honor the Son. Here we'll take and teach us about God also divide the job, that God who come to be the Son to save the world, and in the same time one day will judge the world in the form of the Son, because men know God the Son who come to give life, and also the one who could judge men too, who don't accept his help, who don't accept him. So this is the way that Jesus explained how God going to deal with men who believe or don't believe in him. To confirm that the Son is God and have all the power to save and to judge. And this is the power that Jesus has to save us and to judge us who don't want his help, who did not honor him. And Jesus confirmed that who honor the Son also honor the Father. Try to explain that they are one. You believe in one, you believe in all. You get one, you get all. And this is the way Jesus explained how the relationship of the Father and the Son are the same. Okay, I will stop here and come to you for your question or reflection a little bit. Okay. Question or reflection on what we learned about Father and the Son. Oh, we did not hear you, Chris.
Did Jesus mean he cannot or he will not because of the he respect his father, because cannot and will not is not the same thing.
Well,
Because
I think
it
that's a good point.
It seemed to be conflict there. He said, I cannot, but I only do as my father do. And later on, he said, his father gave him authority to give life. So he can give life to anybody as he please. If that's the case, why he have to be on the cross to start with? Because he can give life to anybody that he please.
Okay, the way to explain that is Jesus have a double position. Jesus is fully God and fully man in the same time. And the Bible keeps switching between when Jesus talked as a fully man and as a fully God. He is two persons in one. So sometimes he talked to his disciple or to us as a fully man. he don't know anything. He cannot do anything. But when he talk of himself as God, he say, I have all authority. I can do anything. So that the double that we have to know, sometimes he talk as a man, sometimes he talk as a God in different situations.
So the answer is it's not he. The answer is he is not really saying that I cannot. It's just what he's saying that I will not unless the Father allow him to do so, or something like that in that nature. Is that? But
Well, he correct in the sense that when he talk as a man, he cannot. But when he talk as a God, he will not.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I know this will confuse a lot of people because sometimes he talk as if he cannot do anything, but sometimes it's just like he don't want to do it. Because sometimes he talk as a man, sometimes he talk as a God. You can see a difference from time to time.
I think we can look at it this way. Maybe we can understand it a little bit better that way. It's 3 in 1, but they are equal according to the Bible. They are equal, 3 in 1, right? But their function are different. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they all have different functions, but they're all the same. So basically, Jesus surrendered part of the divinity to be a human. So the Bible also said that only the Father knows the hours. So the disciple asked him, when are you coming to, when is your kingdom coming to take over? Well, the hour, it's only the Father know. It doesn't really mean that Jesus doesn't know, but he surrendered that part, that divinity to the Father. You see, he is still equal, but the function is very different, right? So the Holy Spirit is here to glorify Jesus Christ, but they are the same. It's the different functions. You know what I mean. So the 3 of them decided Jesus is gonna go to the cross, and Jesus willingly go on the cross to die for the human race. And it's more like a different functions. Maybe that will explain a little bit better. I mean, that's
Well, theologically, it's not just the different function, but Jesus come to be real man, fully man.
right.
So he have the real body of man that can feel hungry, angry, tired, disappointed like all men. So the Bible say that he suffered like a man too.
John, this is what I think, but it was a useless question. But anyway, if we see that part, so how about the scientists talk about the Jesus become a human, like a human, have a wife? Is that the origin say that? Is that true, or just only scientists say?
No, scientists don't know about that. It's just story, legend that they make it up.
Okay.
That all the Jewish men will get married at some time because the parent will demand that. But Jesus, as a holy man, mean that he never commits sin, so he not under the power of sin. Jesus went through all the temptation, but he won.
Okay.
And scientifically, you know that in this world, there are allowed 10% of people who born with the gift of singleness, mean that no sexual desire at all.
Okay.
Even today.
Good. Thank you, John. So another question is, if we talk about the disciple, talk about whose sin is that from parent or from the sickness person? So now I talk about in the future, if we do have some people come and ask, and then I don't know what we're going to prepare for the answer. So like people who was born the wrong gender, like for example, whatever that they're born like a man, but they have a feeling like the hormone is a woman. So they might change their gender, like become woman or whatever. It's who is a sin? Is that sin or no sin? Is that from parent or from the person who was born the gender, the wrong gender?
Okay, you look on the scientific perspective first, from medical perspective. People who born with the wrong gender, if they born that way, mean that their gene, their hormone is wrong. So it's because they born that way, because we all have male and female hormone in us, but some people have mix of wrong amount of hormone, so they come out wrong gender. So they born that way from the beginning. But a lot of people have wrong feeling because they grew up that way. They was raised up that way. So scientific or medical look at two ways. You born with the wrong gene or hormone, or you wrong with the wrong the way people raise you up wrong. So in that two situations, they say it's not the sin of the person. It's sin of original sin, because parents commit sin long time ago and it passed on the children, or from society who raised you wrong. Okay, now another thing is possible that people choose that way because society or something that they think that is cool. I met a lot of people in Thailand who choose that lifestyle because they think society think that is okay, good. So that's their own decision. They're born okay, they raise up okay, but they decide to choose that lifestyle because they think is something they want. Okay, and in many other situations, as Jesus talked about some situation, it happened, so God will have something to do in their life. So we don't know why. You can answer from Jesus' perspective that the cause can be from three sources: original sin, personal sin, or from God's plan. But we don't know.
Okay, if from the God plan, so just let go whatever what he or she wanted, that feeling, let it be, let it go. For we cannot control it. If a scientist, the doctor said the born the wrong, and then that's a feeling, born with a man, but the feeling hormone is a woman, so he feel like to change to become a woman. So let it be whatever he want to be, right, John?
Well, you see, we talk about when we sin spiritually, physically, intelligently, or emotionally, that we sin. When God saved us, he saved us three parts too. He saved us spiritually now, we saved. And physically, have to wait until Jesus come and change us. And emotionally or mentally, he working on us.
Okay.
So everyone, we still sin in body. We just have to control it. Every single one. Okay. And emotionally, God working on it. But spiritually, we are saved if you believe in Jesus, confess your sin. So if I answer this way, it means that every single one still can be saved spiritually. But body is something else. We have to work on it and control it.
The Bible says we live by faith, not by sight, not by feeling, because feelings are fickle. One day you feel this way, next day you feel the other way. We can't live by feelings. And Jesus, the God, never intends for us to live by feelings. As a matter of fact, if you go back to Genesis, God wants us to live by revelation. He doesn't want that tree to be eaten. Why? Why that tree? That tree is the tree of the Google tree. You can know the knowledge of good, some good and some bad. But God doesn't want us to live by the knowledge of the world. Even our feelings is by his guidance, by his revelation. So we can't be like, well, I feel this way, I want to live this way. No, that's sin. That's your own action. There is a consequences. The Bible says we live by faith, not by sight, not by what you see, not by how you feel. We have to go by the word of God. I mean, that's, I'm sorry. I know I'm going to offend somebody. I know it. But I live by the word of God. I know I'm going to offend somebody. Now the society is about cancel culture, right? I mean, I can only live by the word of God. I'm sorry, brothers.
You're right. The words of God is there, but we human beings still sin. David sinned.
I know, yeah.
But we all can come back to God. And God told David that you're not going to die, but you pay the price with your body. So people who live in that way can be saved spiritually, but the body pay the price until the day they die.
Yeah, I know, Pastor. Just like Cain killed Abel in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Right? God said that, why are you angry and downcast? You know, if you don't do what's right, the devil is right there. Sin is crouching at the door waiting for you, and you have to overrule it. So God told Cain, you need to overrule your feelings, because Cain let his feeling got the most of him. He killed his brother. That is in Genesis. I mean.
Well, I think that in this case here, God is very strongly, he talk about this. Homosexual is wrong. Sometimes something is clear, sometimes something is not. But in this case here, God is really clear about that, I think. But nevertheless, God is mercy. He still have a mercy on all those people, because we all, nevertheless, we all sinner. Let's the first one who have no sin cast the first stone, remember? So for us to justify them, we can really not be able to do so. We all sinner one way or the other.
Yes. And is there any sin that God cannot forgive? Jesus said only one sin that cannot be forgiven.
Blasphemy, right? That's the only
Against the
sin
Holy
that
Spirit.
cannot be forgiven is blasphemy. So we need to remember that. I think because we all sinners, so sometimes we have to humble ourselves and let God do his work. We do our job, and let's not be so judging other people so much, I would say. Because nevertheless, we are at the same pit.
Chris, can you repeat that again? Was that blasphemy or was that?
Blasphemy. ดูหมิ่นพระเจ้า
Oh, okay. That's why I heard wrong that word, and then okay, Ajahn. Then final word. That mean if a people who was born the wrong gender, whatever God want to be like that, you got to be like that, right? That means the answer. You cannot do nothing more.
Well, you see, we cannot blame God, because all the problem that happened to us is our sin. Either our ancestor or our sin. It's still sin that caused problem. So,
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we still need mercy from God, but we still need to accept that we sin.
And then if you really say I was born wrong, you are making God a liar, because you think God is making a mistake. You born into something else that you are not. So we are saying God is wrong, and then I can't now understand. I understand people different. We love them, we accept them. Homosexual, we love them. We don't judge people, we judge on principle. When the Bible says do not judge, it doesn't mean we don't judge at all. We judge on principle. We judge sin. We have to. We can't allow sin. But we love the person, but we judge the evil. The Bible says we need to hate what God hates, and God hates evil, right? But we love people, right? So what I'm saying is, it's you accept the way you are, and I don't believe somebody would be born wrong. If the doctor say I'm sorry, I go by the Bible, I go by the word of God. The medical field say this, say that, I don't care. I'm sorry, I'm a Christian. I believe in the word of God. So I don't believe God made a mistake. I mean, if you say I was born wrong, you're calling God a liar. I mean, I can't.
Well,
I think is that this important part is not about sin or not sin. The important part is we cannot make it normal, or we cannot and shall not make it normal or okay, or even fashion it to make it all right. I think that all sin we still have to confess. All sin we still have to confess and ask for the forgiveness. We
You're
cannot
right.
brag about our sin, right or wrong, I think.
Okay,
Sin is sin.
final question. We don't want to bring that much in our class. I'm going to ask Ling a little bit. For example, you said it's not wrong from the God. How could we get it that one man got the woman thing and got the man thing can be one? Did you see that one, right? Have you ever seen that one? I saw that a lot. Is that born wrong, or is that born in purpose?
Well, let's say a lot of time it's not because of the creation of God, it's because of the creation of man. There's so many chemical out there.
Yeah, that's why
that
we have to
people eat.
respect. We have to
We
have to listen to the person who have born wrong gender. That's why I was my intent and my purpose. That's why we have to prepare for what we have to answer. So we don't blame God. We don't blame no one. So that's why the wrong gender could be wrong any second, any time. That is
Correct.
not God's purpose. I know that. What you mean? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, God make everything good and perfect. But problem happen because we man shoot wrong, or we make mistake. God make everything good and perfect to start with. Okay, but the whole point that we sum up, sin still sin, and we saved by grace alone. We just need to acknowledge our mistake and ask God for forgiveness. We don't live in sin. We live in grace. So that's the whole point. Okay, let me go back to finish the rest. Oh, sorry, wrong again. Because I did two class. Let's see, where are we? Okay, verse 24 to 27. Most actually I say to you, he who have hear my words and believe in him who sent me has everlasting life, and shall not come into judgment, but had passed from death into life. Most assuredly, I say to you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For as the Father hath life in himself, so he has granted the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Okay, here what is summed up here. The Son have the power to judge, to forgive, and to give life. And to confirm that the Son and the Father are one. And here Jesus also say that the promise that God have promised man that this time will come, and Jesus said that it's already here. It means that he himself is God and come to save man. And anyone who already dead, who hear the voice of the Son, will have life. It not just literally mean body death. It means that death by sin. Spiritually death will have new life. If they hear the words of God, the Son, and believe, all of them will have new life. So theologically, death doesn't mean disappear. It just means that cut off from God. Because man's spirit will never disappear, like the Buddhists say that when you die, you pay off all your sin, you distinguish, mean that you disappear, not exist anymore. That Buddhist teaching. But really, in the Bible say that man will live forever, because our spirit comes from God. It's just to be in heaven with God or in hell with Satan. That's all. So when that here means that cut off from God, but when the Son comes and you accept the Son help, you come back to God to be one with God in heaven again. So this is the hope that man have been hoped for thousands of years, and Jesus said it fulfilled in the Son now. Anyone who believes in the Son will have new life and come back to God. So this is the important part that he summed up, that he come to save people, not just heal the body sick, but spiritual sick. And not just save body death, but spiritual death. That's his goal. And that's why he just select a man to show the reason, the example. You know that 100 or maybe 1,000 of sick people lay there, but he did not heal all of them. Some people say he can do that, yes, but for what? They get sick again. And the whole point is he wants to save their soul, their spirit. And he wants to make a point here. So he confirmed that anyone who believes in him will not go to the judgment, but pass from death into life with a new life. So this is something Jesus promised all his believers. The Son have the power to grant them life, new life. And now, not in the future, mean that spiritual life will start lies away after they believe in Jesus. The born again experience start lies away spiritually. Yeah, we talk about body and mind that working on. And now here Jesus said that the hour have coming, all who are in the grave will hear the voice and come forth. Those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil will go to the resurrection of condemnation. And now Jesus talk about the future. When he come the second time to call all the dead, everyone will come back for the judgment. And some will come to the new life with Jesus. And will come to the judgment and sent to hell forever. He talked about the future judgment day. And now this is the time that man need to decide to get a new life or to be dead forever. So this is the thing that Jesus summed up his teaching and his mission that he come to this world to do. And Jesus said, my judgment is righteous, mean that I have the power, I have the authority, and I have done the right thing. And nobody can complain that it's not fair, because he is God and all sin, but he come to help. And God did not cheat any man. All sin have to pay, and God, Jesus, paid for us. It's not free. Somebody have to pay. He paid for us by himself. And Jesus talked about, the Jew will complain that, well, you cannot witness about yourself. You need someone else. And Jesus said that I did not just witness for myself, but I have the Father. I have the Holy Spirit. And to confirm what I have said is correct. Jesus always used that Trinity to confirm that it's not just him alone. And some people always say that, oh, how Jesus can claim that God the Father, the Son, always with him, to confirm that what he did is not by himself. And now Jesus talked about John the Baptizer. And he mentioned that John have come to confirm, to witness about him, the truth. But he still say that the witness is not for man. And Jesus said that I'm not going to be with you long. I just come at a shining lamp. And now you have a chance, and it's not going to last forever. It just time to confirm to them that he come to be with us for a short time, to do his mission, to save us, and then his job done. And later on, we will feel sorry that we want him to be with us longer, but he's gone, he's done. And he said to them that you should rejoice while you have a chance. A lot of people hope to see Jesus themselves, like all the prophets in the past, but they never have a chance to see Jesus, the God who come to save us. Well, the people who born in that day have all the blessing, but not all accept him. And Jesus always said that the one who did not see me, that believe in me, blessed than those people. And here they mention about Jesus say, I'm the lamb. I come to shine to the people. But here you can see a lamp is burning itself to give light. And Jesus compared himself that in order for him to save other people, he had to sacrifice himself, his own life. As a lamp gives light by burning itself. And Jesus to save man's life by giving his own life to save us. It's nothing free and it's nothing cheap. But this is the time that God come to save us. And in the end, he confirmed that Father had given me to finish the work that I do, bear witness of me. The Father has sent me. And Jesus mentioned about John, that John come to proclaim about him, that he coming. And more than John is God the Father, witness by his work. Because all the Jews say that Jesus just talked about all these things by himself, but Jesus said no. The prophecy, all the things that God have prophesied about him have been long ago. The Jew, the leader, just don't accept him and don't really understand the will of God. Now, if you ask the Jew, they're still waiting for the Messiah, even today. Most of the Jewish leaders still talk about the Messiah going to come to save them, to make them a nation, the power again. And they don't really accept that Jesus have come 2,000 years ago to save them. And that's so sad. And Jesus remind them, go to search the Bible. The Bible mentioned about me, everything. You read it every day, but you don't understand it. And that's sad. It's like we walk past by him every day and we don't see him. We hear him every day, but we don't hurt him. And that is sad. And Jesus said that I did not receive honor from men. And Jesus did not come to get all the respect from men. He come to fulfill his work that God sent him to do. And Jesus said that a lot of people will come for his own name, and the Jew will accept them. And this is throughout history. The Jew will accept anyone who proclaim themselves Messiah and save them. Throughout history, the Jew will follow. And then they were destroyed by the Roman, by the Assyria, by everyone, because they followed the wrong Messiah. And it's not just happened one time. The Jews throughout history follow wrong Messiah several times already. And why? When the real one comes, they cannot accept him. But they accept the fake one. And in the future too, Satan will send the fake Messiah again to the Jew, and the Jew will follow them again. Why? When the real one comes, they don't follow, but they follow the fake one throughout history. That's a good question. And it's not just for the Jew and for Christian too. And in the end, Jesus summed up that I won't accusing you, but Moses himself one day will come and accuse you. And you know that in the book of Revelation, we mentioned that Moses possibly will come back to witness to the Jew again. The two witnesses that God sent will have the power to call all the miracle, to shut down the heaven. And we believe that one of them is Moses. Come to the Jew to proclaim the Messiah, Jesus. But the Jew will believe in Satan and refuse even Moses and Elijah. It will happen again in the future. But we don't know why the Jew is so hard-headed and many of them won't believe. But in the end, God will save some of the Jews. The Bible says that 144,000 of Jews will accept Jesus in the end and come to salvation. And not by themselves, but because of the mercy of God, God chose the 12 tribes, 12,000 from each tribe. That's what the book of Revelation says about the future Jew will accept Jesus in the end time. Okay, that I sum up quickly because we run out of time. You have anything to mention or question?
Ajahn, when I read this verse, for some reason, I got impression that God actually talking about the history from the first creation until the judgment day.
Yes.
For some reason, it got the material in there about the grace. That the first is about God creation. Father can do nothing. It sounds to me that this word here is it really talking about from this creation until the judgment day.
Yes, Jesus sum up the whole thing in one chapter that why he come just to save us, to help us. And the book of Genesis, when man commits sin, God already prophesied that one day the son of woman will come to crush the head of the snake.
Right.
And the snake will bite his heel.
And same thing with when the son have authority to give life, and then that's a judgment day, and everyone who ever been born will be able to come up and hear the judgment, rather to be judgment for the reward or judgment for their sin or judgment. But it's I think I read on this one here and I write something about it. It seemed to be extended throughout since creation until the judgment day. Jewish will accept Christ when he comes as the second coming of Christ with authority and power.
Yeah,
That's what they've been waiting for.
Yeah, that's still by the grace of God, because the Jew will follow along Messiah throughout history, even until the end time, majority of them.
Because they have so much pride and they want to God to be the one with the authority and power.
Yeah. They look for the wrong thing.
And finally, at the end, they have to use the law of Moses to prove them either right or wrong as a judge. Because now the second coming of Christ, he come as a judge, he come with the sword. That means it's not saved by grace anymore. On the second coming, it's saved by the law. ใช่หรือเปล่า?
Yeah, but no hope now. By that time, it's too late.
Oh. How come too late when Ajahn Swang just said that the Jewish at that time will turn to God and believe in God?
Yeah, I say by grace, God saved 144,000 Jews for himself. I don't know how the Jew will come to be Jesus believer and follower, but the Bible says God saved them.
It just have to do with the other word that said that God cut the day short in order for him to be able to save humanity.
Yeah, as you say that by his grace, he saved some of them to keep his promise to Abraham. I don't know by which way.
Okay.
I know we still have a lot of questions and something we have no answer to. We just have to believe and trust God. We thank God, thank Jesus that he come to be born as a man to suffer for us, to help us, to save us. And by his grace alone that we have all the chance to come back to God.
อาจารย์เวลาผมเรียนพระคัมภีร์ when I read about this and then we saw to blame Jewish people so much because of this, because of that, it seemed like it's kind of wrong. ไม่รู้ว่า I don't know how you feel, because the simple fact is I think it's written in the Bible that we are, as a Gentile, we are a grab from the wild plant, but Jewish is the one that actually the original plant. That if he grab that plant into the original plant, how great that it could be for the tree of. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it seemed like eventually Jewish still gonna be even better than who we are because they are the children of promised children.
Well, if you look at the Old Covenant, the Jews are the first group that get the grace of God. Later on, the Gentile also get the grace of God. And Paul himself said that the Gentile going to be a real descendant of Abraham because we become descendant by faith alone, not by blood, but by faith. Faith in God. Like Abraham become the favor of God because he believed.
What my point is that being Christian, we need to be careful and not to look down on Jewish by talk them down. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's God's will for us to look down on Jewish people, how wrong they are. That's what I'm saying.
No, we're not going to look them down because they're the first group of people who follow God. That's something that's correct. And Paul reminds us in the book of Romans that don't look down on them because of their unbelief that we have a chance.
Right.
Yeah.
And God picked them. God picked them not because of their work or anything. It God merciful, and God picked. That's His sovereign, sovereign right to do it. It's nothing to do with their work or anything. So they don't look down on us, and we don't look down on them. I mean, that's. But in the history, they do look down. The Jews looked down on Samaritan, and they hated them, because they were mixed ways. So,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they look at us as a dog.
Yeah, but that doesn't give us a right to do the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
No. And the Bible, when they say the Jew, in fact, they mean the leader, not the regular people.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're out of time. We can pray and let you go, and we're going to see you next week. And next week we cover chapter 6. Okay, let's pray. Father God, we thank you that tonight we can come to study your words. I thank you for the discussion. Help us to understand more and to see that we saved by grace alone, by your mercy. We are not better than anyone. Help us to love one another and know that by your love that we can help a lot more people to come to know you. I lift up all children before you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
God bless you all. God bless you all. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.
God
Good
bless.
night.
Thank you.